What's going on, everyone? It's Jonathan Mears here with Nita and Aaron, and we got Josh Freund in the house today. Thanks for coming.
Appreciate it, man. It's an honor to be here now.
Yes, sir. So, what's one moment from your overseas basketball journey that nobody knows about, but completely changed who you are as a player and as a person?
Oh God,
Starting off hot.
yeah, right, bro.
Starting-
I'll just say right off the top of my head, my third year was tough up in Haifa, Maccabi Haifa. They had new management and everything. It was a lot of turnover. We were in the Balkan League, so we're like traveling to Macedonia, and I think it was a down year for that league, to be honest. They had some good teams in there, a lot of Israeli teams. Balkan was good. And I think just dealing with that atmosphere and that type of management really made me appreciate kind of everything else. Every other team I went to from there, kind of being much more humbled and understanding that I have it great, especially like in my situation and everything now. I good management, good teammates. So it's humbling. It's kind of, a lot of stuff has been humbling, but that third year was really, grandma died. I couldn't make it back, and it was a lot that year. So that year made me kind of change my perspective of like, let me find the right situation rather than just kind of go in blind. So yeah, that year was, ooh.
I mean,
tough.
real quick, was there a moment in there where you said, never mind, maybe overseas isn't for me?
Like one particular moment, I wouldn't say there was one moment where I'm like, damn, I'm not coming back. It was just kind of a accumulation of just how players were treated, that was my first realization of, what talent can get away with. You see the jokes. I just watched a movie, the new Adam Sandler, Jay Kelly, and kind of like how talent, was it George Clooney? Who's the other? I think it was George Clooney.
Okay.
I didn't see this one.
I haven't seen it either.
I think
I'm
it's just released. I literally watched it last night. I can't sleep after games, so I watched that. Great movie. I was very impressed. And kind of how talent acts and what they can get away with, with how talented. He's like this great movie actor and everything, and he has a whole team basically to take care of this 60-year-old like infant, they call him. And it's not to that extent, but you see like what better players can get away with and what Josh Freund can get away with. It's very different. So it was funny to see that. So that year, going back to like, there wasn't, I don't think, one moment, but it was just kind of a realization of like professional basketball and, what it can really get like. So just that year in general.
Incredible. So let's take it back real quick, just kind of introduce
Okay.
your career a little bit to the listeners. So first off, you started off at Randolph College, D3.
Yep.
Averaged about 12 and 7, which is a super solid freshman year.
D3 and proud.
Was second on the team in scoring, first in rebounding. Amassed the sixth best single season block total in school history already in your freshman year.
I'm not a blocker, so I'm not but I believe it.
That's
It's a small school.
It's a small school, Then you transferred over to Roanoke College, go Maroons, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool for
Go
3
Maroons.
years. There you really broke out. Your junior and senior season averaged 18 points, 11 boards. That's incredible numbers already. In that, winning multiple awards over your career, incredibly distinguished college career. Then went pro over to Maccabi Ashdod, Ashkelon, Haifa, and now Rishon LeZion.
Yeah, there was Rehovot in there too.
Rehovot. I always
shout
miss
out
one.
Rehovot.
There's always one that I miss.
It's all good. They that was a weird year too. It went from, first of all, I don't think I have to add anymore. You nailed it right there.
Hell
so
yeah.
There you go.
shout out like RJKL, my high school. I love Mike Kraft. He does a great job, but you nailed it. That was a weird year because when I first got there, they moved up from the third league, and the whole year we're basically fighting to stay in the league.
Right.
And it was weird because we won a game to stay in the league, and they celebrate like we win a championship, which is like, it was an emotional game. But I'm like, what are we celebrating right now? Like it's we're like celebrating that we're the third worst team and not the second or first worst team, and kind
For
of
sure.
situation.
Let's go further back, right?
Okay.
From Charlotte.
Yeah. Shout out
Charlotte, North Carolina. Growing up in Charlotte, talk about your family. What kind of sparked that love, that passion for basketball growing up, and kind of paved the way for your basketball career?
You know what's funny? Basketball was never my my main sport. I played all different sports. Just my parents threw me in a bunch of whatever I was available. They threw me. So it was soccer when I was a kid, baseball, football, and everything. But basketball was always in that mix. And I remember specifically, I was visiting my grandparents one time, me and my brother. And my brother's basketball was his main sport. And maybe I didn't want it to be my main sport because it was my brother's main sport. So I don't know. He was a Duke fan. I was a UNC fan. It was kind of just one of those things where I just couldn't be like him. I don't know. It was brother rivalry. And my grandpa always wanted to make basketball my main sport. And I remember I was young, so don't judge me, but I remember I was we were at the gym shooting, and I just threw the ball and yelled at him, I don't want to play this shit. And I remember crying and walking home. I was young. I don't know. And after that, I don't know what happened, but a few years after that, basketball became my main sport. I got into high school, and I don't know. It was the only sport where I felt like I liked progressing in it, and I liked the process of it. I was better at baseball when I was a kid, but once you stop hitting home runs, it's man, fuck this game. This shit's boring.
Yeah, right. But you talk about you and your brother being Duke UNC fans, powerhouses. Did that kind of have an effect on you watching those college basketball teams growing up?
I'll be honest, no, because I didn't think I could ever play with guys like that. I'm very humble with my game. I think it can help and hurt me a little bit. You watch guys with, exudes confidence and just they think they can do whatever on the basketball court, and sometimes that helps them. But I'm very humble. I didn't think I would ever play college ball. I didn't think I would ever play with any big name guys. I just didn't think I was athletic enough or skilled enough to keep up. But we go back. I enjoyed getting better at basketball. So I didn't have D1 dreams. I didn't have NBA dreams. I just wanted to keep playing basketball and trying to get better at basketball. And I found a great fit with Coach Nunley over at Randolph that believed in me. The most driven coach I've ever seen. He was gonna be dedicated to his craft, and that made me feel confident in getting better at basketball too. So moved with him to Roanoke and just tried to keep getting better. And eventually senior year was coming around, just towards the end of my junior year, just got All-American.
This is in college.
This is in college.
So you're saying that you go to the first school, you have that coach, and then he moves and you move with him?
Correct. So that first school was I don't want to say a joke because I went there, I would have graduated there if he stayed, but we're talking about 700 kids. A lot of them transferred after the first semester.
700 kids total?
Total. It was a little private boarding school vibe. It was crazy.
Do you choose to go there because of basketball, or are you thinking you weren't really thinking about pro basketball afterwards? Were you thinking academically, I want to go major in something and I can also play basketball there?
That's a good question. I think I just wanted to go there because I loved what Coach Nunley was about. I wanted to keep playing ball. The academics was okay there. The school I transferred to was better. Thankfully.
What'd you major in?
Business administration.
Okay, me
with
too.
A marketing concentration. And so it was, I don't know, I just wanted to keep playing ball. And no D1 schools were looking at me. We had a great high school team, keep in mind. We had, at one point, just on that graduating class, had 3 pros. Well, for a public, school. It is in North Carolina, but for a random public school, we were 4A, but still that's crazy. So we had 2 D1s, a D2, 2 D3s, we had a great team. We made it to the state championship and ended up losing. That was
hurts.
tough.
Yeah.
That one hurt.
That still haunt you?
Yeah, that's my probably greatest loss. That one sucks. And lost 2 conference championships in college, but they don't even equate to, because that team was just so great, as a team too. We just knew what we wanted. Coach was great. The chemistry was great. Loved going to practice. Loved games. Everything was just so smooth. Even if we hit road bumps, we won. We lost the first game of the season and the last game of the season.
Wow.
We won every game in between that.
Well, high school basketball is just amazing. You're going from high school classes straight to the gym.
Literally. And at that point, I'm not even thinking about college basketball. I'm getting some D3 looks, but that I think I averaged maybe 9-8, 10-8 that year. It was solid, but we had a starter averaging 20-something who was great. The other big that played D3 was good, athletic. And we had, guards going to Radford. We had a D2 preferred walk-on. So it was we had so much
Y'all
talent.
were stacked.
We were stacked for a public school.
You go over to the first D3 school, move with your coach to the next one, and then you balled out your junior and senior year where you really broke out. At what point are you kind of feeling all right, maybe I could actually go play pro?
So that was after my junior year. I went to my coach and was just I asked him, is this a possibility? Can I actually keep playing basketball? And he told me, he's Josh, don't worry about it now. After the first semester of your senior year, if you still feel like that, come back to me and we'll work on it. We'll do it. And so started the senior year. After the first semester, I was I'm really thinking about I want to try this. I don't know. I don't want to go work. I don't want to if this is a possibility, even if I just do it for a year, I really want to try. He's all right. And honestly, he did everything. Shout out Coach Nunley, man.
At what point did he kind of know that being Jewish would help you in getting that extra citizenship?
Yep. So he put a tape together, highlight tape. It was all him. And he started reaching out to agents. And a couple of them reached back out. I don't know whether it was because, they saw my name and just did a little research, but basically were does he have a Jewish background? Maybe they just saw a picture. I don't know. They saw that nose. They said, oh, yeah, for sure.
I can relate. Don't worry, I can relate.
Yeah. And they're if he has a Jewish background, he has an opportunity to kind of, make Aliyah, get his citizenship, and, he could play in Israel. And he brought that news to me, and I was I grew up in my mom is Christian, my dad is Jewish. So, this time of year, we got a Christmas tree up, but we also got the menorah. We're lighting candles. Mm-hmm. So we just weren't a very religious household, though. And I was I don't know, I'm not very religious. Is it weird? I didn't know I didn't know a lot about overseas basketball even when I brought that to him. I couldn't tell you any EuroLeague teams. I couldn't I didn't know. I think that's the case for most people. I think most people don't know what's going on overseas. I think it's getting better now with certain kind Swiss culture, y'all, and everything, just giving a light to what's going on. And I got connected, started the process, and
so walk us through the Aliyah process and what that was like for you. Was it challenging at first? Were you have you ever been to Israel beforehand?
So my grandma, rest her soul, was always getting me and my brother. We had busy summers, so we were when are we gonna do this, Grandma? But she was always go to Israel. You have a free 2-week trip. Go. I'm Grandma, we're busy. You want me to just take out 2 weeks of my summer? I'm in school all year. I'll finally get a summer. You want me to go to Israel? I mean, okay, we'll think about it. And the next year she tries this. So I had never come to Israel. My dad did a bar mitzvah here when he was a kid, and then my grandma and grandpa went a couple times here and there. But I had never been. So that process was probably challenging, but challenging in the sense is just I had no idea what was going on and what I needed. You know, you need like wedding certificates,
Right.
letter from rabbi, and I was just like, okay, like, and it. In hindsight, it wasn't that difficult if I just had someone that knew what was going on, just to be like, this is what you need. But, you know, dealing with agents and through my coach, and I'm trying to do this, so I'm taking 4-hour trips to Atlanta to make sure I get the right like visa and passport. So it wasn't that easy, but it wasn't too challenging of a process. I couldn't speak on it now. I'm not sure.
So you don't go to Israel ever before, and then
No.
you finally get that overseas contract. You come to Israel and you get off that plane. 5,000 miles. You're far from home, and you get off that plane to come and actually like do this pro basketball, start your career, right? So you get off that plane, you get out, you're in Israel. What's running through your mind? What are the feelings like?
I'll say even before that. So I was in the summer. I worked out and I did a little class after I graduated just to be on campus and work out and do everything. But Brad Greenberg was coaching Maccabi Ashdod at the time, and he lived just so happened like 10 minutes from Roanoke College. And so eventually my agent contacted him. He called me and was like, let's do a workout. And he goes, so he comes to the school and he goes, listen, if the workout's short, it's not a good sign. We were in there like at least 90 minutes, 2 hours. So I was like, I was working, I was sweating by the end of it. And he was like, okay, like, yeah, I didn't make Aliyah at the time, but he's like, if you make Aliyah, we got a place for you. I was like, oh, wow, this is first league at the time too. And meanwhile, I didn't know first league, second league. I was ignorant to a lot of it when I first touched down. I just remember it was hot as hell and sweating. I had the airplane fit on, a hoodie, sweats and everything. And some, I don't know, Israeli guy just takes me and I start driving with him. And I don't know, it was kind of surreal for a second. It doesn't really sink in, and you're just in a foreign country. I think you start seeing signs and they're all in Hebrew. They're in English too, but it's a little surreal for a minute. I didn't really know what to expect. They took me straight to practice. I didn't practice, but it was already started, but they just wanted me to, I guess, go. I didn't know what was going on. I was just like, oh, okay. And it was, I think the best way to say it is surreal. It still didn't, like, it never really fully hit that year until my family came out and visited me my first year, like right before COVID. And, that was like, oh, wow, I'm really like, I'm out of here. Like I'm on the halfway across the world, and, they're making a trip to come out. And it was, that moment was like, oh, wow, like I'm very distant. My friend texted me like screenshots of like my location, because I don't know how he has my location, but he screams, whether it's Snapchat or something. He's like, bro, you are fucking gone. like he's showing, like, he's like, you are nowhere close. I'm like, yeah, you're in the Middle East. This is out there. But I never felt discomfortable, like, or whatever
Uncomfortable.
There we go. Yeah, that business major, huh?
Right, yeah.
So, they make you feel welcome. Most people speak English and everything. So it was a smooth transition. I think most people say that about Israel.
Yeah.
So you had this smooth transition in, which is incredible, especially when you're going so far away, so early on in your career. That can be a really tough transition. However, then COVID hits.
Yeah.
So, we know, I was here during the lockdown of COVID as well. This country locked down like nobody's business. You couldn't go 100 yards from your house.
For 2 years after it.
Exactly. Can you walk us through what that was like? You're so distant, you're so far away from home, then COVID hits.
I think there was just a lot of a question. They didn't know if flights were going to go after a certain date. It was a little bit of a panic. And I was just like, I don't know, send me home. Like they got us home eventually, and they want you to quarantine when you get back and everything. But then they even started the league. They did a little bubble league in the summer, but they didn't even ask me to come back. So I wasn't playing at all that year, and so it was a little bit of a panic for like a couple days. Then I got a flight home. Everyone. I don't think people were masked up at the time then. I think that took a couple months. But it wasn't too bad. I just remember Brad Greenberg panicking. He's like, they say if we don't get a flight home and by the 15th, that we're fucked. And I just remember him saying that. I was just like, damn, coach, like, I think we'll be okay. And we were fine.
So you go from Ashdod and you go over to Ashkelon, correct?
Yeah, second league.
Second league. And so Ashdod was in the first league.
Ashdod was in the first league with Brad Greenberg. We were struggling that year, man. That was a tough year.
So you're in Ashdod in the first league. Any guys over there that we would know?
There was a couple. We had a rookie, Noah Dickerson out of Washington.
Oh yeah, Noah Dickerson.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Elijah Johnson out of Kansas. He was towards the end of his career. I think that was his maybe last year playing ball. LaDante Hinton from Providence.
So you don't have the full year there because of COVID, but you play in the first league and then you move over to Ashkelon, which is in the second league. Neighboring cities, right? Ashdod, Ashkelon.
Brother,
so you go over to Ashkelon and you play in the second league. What was the biggest adjustment going over to the second league? And then how was that next year where you got a full year?
To be honest, I thought I was like, keep in mind, we had a good team that year in Ashkelon. We went like 23-5 or whatever it was, and we lost like 2 of our last 5 games. So we were balling that year. But I wasn't still not getting a lot of playing time. I was kind of surprised. I thought a second league I was going to be starting at least 20 plus minutes a game, and I'm sitting at like 15 to 18 and being efficient with it, but you can't really say anything when you're 12-0 to start the year. So it's like, what are you gonna say?
Right.
You're doing something wrong. I need to play more. But we had a great team. Shout out Zoe, Big Zoe, Lonzo Coleman. He was our leader. We had Paul Delaney right before he got his passport. Got his passport that year. They brought in another American. So we were pretty stacked.
What was it like being over in that area? Ashdod also, like you guys are in the same area, Ashdod, Ashkelon, it's down south. That whole area is a little bit farther from the center. So what was it like as an American just being there off the court?
Ashdod was fine. I made it up to Tel Aviv's a little bit of a drive, but not too bad. Ashkelon, I was locked down there. When I first got there, it was peak COVID. Like I was quarantined for my first 5 weeks. That was like real quarantine.
That's
they let me
brutal.
go in the gym like by myself sometimes, but like first 4 or first 5 weeks, I would literally like it was like 2 weeks when I got there. There was a week, and then it was like the country shut down again. So it was like I had from the plane ride, and then there was another thing from the country itself. So I was like, I felt locked down in Ashkelon. I didn't make it up to Tel Aviv that much that year. There's nothing. Everything was shut down anyways.
What kept you coming back in the sense of like, I know at least my experience.
Yeah, bro, what did? I have no idea.
Like my
dog.
experience when I lived here during COVID is I left afterwards and I was like, maybe I'll come back a few years later. It took me a while. What kept you being like, I want to, you played your whole career here. Like what's been bringing you back?
Dude, it wasn't the money at the time. That's for sure. I have no idea, bro. It was, when it was great. Because, like, when you get to play ball and, I lived on the beach still. It wasn't Tel Aviv beach. It was Ashkelon beach, but it's
Beautiful.
Bro, I throw a rock and it's the beach. It's still great living. I had a great teammates that year. And I didn't really ask myself then because I thought, like, that year I felt like I could like really like do it. Like I could be a solid player and find a role, whether it's the second league or whatever. Like I knew I could do it. I knew I could keep up. I knew I could play ball with them. And then the third year hit when I talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That shit was a mess.
So you had some struggles, right? You had the COVID to disrupt your first year, then you're going to lockdown in Ashkelon, and then Haifa you talked about already, where you had a tough year. So what's a mental skill that players need to have overseas?
That's a great question. The first thing is that I started meditating, bro. That helps in the sense of just like being present of what you do. Like I know, especially the first year, people just want to stay in the apartment, go to practice, go back to the apartment. Like find friends. Like it sounds so cheesy to say it like that, but like have people you can talk to here, not just back home when you're 7 hours, 10 hours ahead of people and you talk on the phone a little bit, but like really if you get to know your teammates, try to step outside, even if you do stuff alone. I remember when I first met my girl, she was just amazed at all the stuff I did alone. I'm like, I'm literally going to eat. Like, what's the, like, what are we talking about? Like, go to eat, go sit at the bar, go talk up to the bartender, whatever. He'll pour you shots of arak
Arak.
that I fucking hate. This shit is disgusting.
You can't like it.
It's disgusting.
But we actually, I always like to bring it up. John D came on a while ago, and he said, you know, when you play overseas, you're not just playing basketball, you're living overseas, right? That's 10 months of your year, 9 months of your year. You really got to be present, right? It's not, you're not going to make it if you're going to practice and going straight to the crib right after. So like you say, you know, you have to live here. So you say, talking about finding friends and doing things like going to get food. What are other things that you've been able to do off the court that keeps you sane?
I would say, you know, if you have hobbies, whether it's, you know, go run on the beach, play some video games, competitive with your teammates, like Call of Duty, whatever it is, like it's something small, but it's something that just takes your mind a little bit away from, you know, the everyday. And I really like by yourself, like go find a Shabbat dinner, like that every Friday, because you got so much time that it feels like you can just waste your day away, especially here. You have Friday morning practice and then Saturday night practice. And in the second league, we may not have Saturday practice.
Right.
Like it's not a given that every night you have Saturday practice. So find yourself a nice family, find yourself a nice Shabbat dinner, go get you some good eats, go talk, go play cards. You know, it's nice and it's easy to find. I know if you just ask one or two guys, you can find a Shabbat dinner. It's crazy that it's that easy, actually.
Yeah, and we talk about being in Ashdod, Ashkelon, Haifa. Eventually, we'll talk about Rishon. But how important is it? You talked about, like, you know, just playing video games with your teammates and stuff like that. How important is that in going to Shabbat dinners with teammates to build chemistry off the court?
It can help. I don't think it's like necessarily like you have to do this type of thing, but yeah, you got to build some sort of rapport.
Have you noticed with certain teams that you've spent more time with players, teammates off the court, that it helped on the court?
Yes and no. I've gone out with some teammates and it got to the point where maybe we're too comfortable together. Like, no, for real, because then it's like whether it's like I don't want to like hold you accountable or you don't want to hold me accountable anymore, like we kind of coast a little bit in practice, or it's you feel like you can talk to me any sort of way and now it gets toxic. But that's, I think, the lesser of the two. I think it helps tremendously if you can find a friend. Like in college, we're best friends off the court, but we're yelling at each other, you know, holding each other accountable on the court. So I think it's not college where it's like you have that, like you have to spend time together no matter what. So you're just gonna become friends, but you gotta be cool with your team. You gotta do something, you know, outside the court. I remember I had a vet my first year tell me this isn't like necessary. Like I don't think it is, but it's like it can help. Like we didn't even try. We ain't go to the movies one time. Like we
Right.
ain't go eat one time. I don't know anything about you, and we're 4-20. Like, all right, something can change, you know. So it's even if it's going to get something to eat after practice, man. It can help a lot, I think.
Taking all this into account, you know, your not only your relationship with your teammates, relationships on the court, off the court, everything like that. How should a player judge if a team is the right fit for them? You know, if you're trying to get to know all these players, trying to get to know what's going on.
That's tough. You got to trust your agent, and especially early on, I don't know how many options people have. Like, you kind of got to create your own culture overseas with every team. It's because, you know, you have new coaches, you know, new players.
Should we take it there?
Whether it's, you know, that it's year to year and not even year to year, everything's changing. So if you can kind of create your own culture, I think that can go a long way.
Yeah.
It's not like you go into a Alabama program and this is how this shit is run. Get in line or get out, you know. New England Patriots with Bill Belichick. This is how we do shit, get in or get out. Like, you got to kind of create your own culture in a sense. And, you know, that can be a struggle. People don't know, you know, how to act. People don't know who the leaders are. You gotta create a team in a 2-3 week span, and that can be a big challenge that, you know, is kind of overlooked a lot of the time, especially when players are changing and everything like that.
Talk about like key characteristic to leaders overseas on teams.
You know, it helps experience, you know. Yeah, it always helps when a older guy is, you know, doing that, kind of in that place. It helps when they're, you know, one of the better guys on the team. People just naturally look to those guys. But holding yourself accountable, you know. If you don't want to, you know, rotate on defense, how are you going to tell someone to rotate on defense? So being self-accountable. I'm trying to, you know, be better every year. In that aspect, I wouldn't consider myself a great leader at all, but I'm trying to learn, trying to understand what it means to talk to different players in different ways. You know, my first couple years, especially coming from college, if you're not doing something right, you know, I'm just, what the fuck are you doing? But not that. It's a deeper tone and a meaner tone, and this is all I knew. So I didn't know how to talk to certain guys, especially coming here. It's a totally different culture. So understanding the culture is something that can be challenging too. How to talk to people. People just don't talk to each other the same way. So understanding that and not just trying to, you know, MF everybody when they make a mistake is tough, you know, at first, you know, especially coming from that culture. So understanding your players, understanding what it takes to, you know.
It's funny, you kind of see that at the highest level too. I got lucky last night. The Celtics were playing early, and I'm from Boston, so I got to watch the Celtics. But, you know, I see Peyton Pritchard on the side, and, like, Jaylen Brown is just going, like, ISO. And, like, for a second, I'm looking at Pritchard, and he's like, the fuck is going on? Like, what are you doing? You know, and, like, you see it at the highest level too.
No doubt.
So knowing how to not do that is definitely something I feel like you're talking about.
Yeah. Body language is big. I'll say basketball players are just grown-up kids. Like we were talking about that earlier, where the movie is Jay Kelly, where it's just like, I don't think guys ever grow up when they're playing basketball or in acting as the movie was. Like, it's just not the same. You're not dealing with HR. You're not dealing with, in a sense, you know. It's a different culture, and, you know, body language does speak a lot.
What's an impact that you're trying to leave on the teams that you're on at this point in your career?
Nice. You know, someone that just shows up day in and day out. You know, availability is the best ability. You holds himself accountable, holds others accountable. I think that this year is something I've been struggling a little bit, is to hold everyone accountable. Just because, when you playing a lot and you're one of the top dogs, it's just natural. And now I'm in a different position, coming off the bench a little bit. I think it's just harder. I think it's harder when you're not, the top 2-3 guys to do that. So that's something I'm trying to learn and navigate. But yeah, trying to just, a great guy shows up day in and day out, works hard,
We're gonna get to the Rishon year last year, but before we get there, in 2023, I think, or around then, you had an off season where you officiated a wedding.
Yeah.
So yeah, we need to hear about that.
Files, bro. Don't say that too loud.
I told you I'd get you.
Yeah, that's funny.
So talk about being a pro basketball player, coming home and officiating a wedding. What was that like?
First of all, I'm just happy I could have made the wedding. We were nervous about like timing and everything, but Ryle and Rachel. Ryle's my best friend from high school, man. He was the other big I was talking about. He's still my best friend, obviously, officiated his wedding. But I remember going into the year, that summer, a year before, they asked me, and I was like, I thought it was a joke. I was like, what is this, friends? Like, you want me to officiate your wedding? Like, you want me to marry y'all? I don't even know what it meant. They were like, we want you to be your officiant. I was like, what is an officiant? So I was like, if you want me to do it, of course I'll do it. Like, I'll do anything. And doing that process was fun. I'm close with Rachel too. Saw them since they got together, high school sweethearts and everything like that. So the friend group talks, it was so easy to celebrate them and be happy for them. And when they asked me to do that, I wouldn't say it was honor. I was shocked. I was just like, I don't know what the hell this is. But did the process, did everything. They gave me a little script to go by, and that was probably one of the more fun things I did. I was pretty nervous going into it, but they said I did a good job.
Nice.
So it was fun, man. It was cool, different. They like to, he definitely likes to be a little different. So it's definitely something to kind of say, yeah, I officiated a wedding.
What's more nerve-wracking? Playing in a game in front of a bunch of fans or doing this?
That was way. Once we started, it was okay, but the process going up to it, I'm like, bro, I'm going through the script they giving me. I'm like, this is gonna take a minute. I'm gonna be up there talking more than obviously they will at all. Even their vows were long, but it was fun. It was just a fun experience.
This is in the summer, right?
This was in the summer. This is early June.
Going into Haifa or Rishon?
No, this was going. Wow. I think it was going into my second year in Rehovot. Before Rishon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is a few years ago now.
Okay, so let's move it on to Rishon last year. Huge year.
Yeah,
right?
Wow. It was
you
fun.
you even made first team in the second league. Huge, right? And y'all win, right? With a lot of guys, which I think is really cool to see, that they brought you guys up with them to the first league. I think that's super cool.
And you don't see that a lot.
You don't see it. So talk us through the whole entire year last year, what it was like. You guys, you started clicking during the year.
Yeah,
it wasn't at first glance. So
sure.
Talk about that, what it was like with DJ and Quay coming into the mix during the season too.
Yeah, we struggled early on. I thought we had decent talent, kind of like we're struggling now a little bit. One of our Americans got hurt. They tried to bring in a couple different guys. We weren't bad. We were in most games, and it wasn't working. And they brought Quay and DJ.
Hamelech.
Yeah. And that shit was day and night switch, man. 2 young guys hungry, 2-way guys, and 11-0, whatever, when they first came here. It just changed the culture right away, man. Ready to go. DJ just active as hell on defense, both ways, transition. Quay came in playing very mature for his age and everything, and just, overpowering the league. And they were killing, man. It was night and day difference. And going through that season, and it's not like we didn't face, hardships. We ended up, we didn't win out. Renana was phenomenal that year. They moved up. That was the first year they did the first place moves up, which I like. I don't know. People have opinions on it. I like it. Reward, the regular season. And then 2 through 9, we had to play it through the playoffs, man. And that was exhausting, I'm going to be honest. We played until mid-June. So mid-August to mid-June, we was playing, and he was using us. he used us. So it was fun, though. It was an experience, being able to be a real playoff run. It was best of 3, best of 5 in the finals. And first game in the playoffs, I remember they went up like 16-4. We were playing Rehoboth, my old team. And however they feel about me now, I don't hold any sentiment or ill will. Couldn't say the same for them. But they went up like big early, like 16-4, and from there we killed it from there. We got the lead back, and then at their place killed them. And then going to Ashkelon, lost the first game, so it was a little bit, if you lose another one, you're out. Won the next 2 pretty handily, and I think we were locked in going to the Allot series.
I'm gonna pause you for a second. You guys go 11-0 with Quay and DJ coming for the first time here, and then you guys make it to the playoffs. There's the Iran war that happens in between.
It was right after.
It was right after the playoffs?
It was right after the playoffs. It was like literally like 2 days after.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you guys are gone already.
We were not gone already.
You were not gone.
I was here.
Y'all celebrate, y'all go crazy, and then you have the Iran war that happens.
Yeah, so like it was like I don't remember the exact days, but let's say it was a Wednesday, our last game, game 5, at their place. Big fella broke their backboard.
Oh, really?
It was like an hour intermission waiting on it, over an hour waiting on it. And this is game 5, mind you. Big fella, whatever, Brandon Hoffman, whatever, shattered the backboard. Never seen that live, let alone in a game 5.
That's crazy.
That's fucking nuts.
He shattered that shit. And it took him over an hour to deal with it. And we're like, we're not about to make this up, so we're just like waiting. And
when is the second quarter?
This is like 2-3 minutes left in the second quarter, so
wow.
right before halftime. And I ain't gonna lie, they had good momentum at that point. They shouted
that kind of helped y'all.
I'm not gonna say like it definitely like swung, because we were over there shooting on our basket. They were just waiting, and like we were, I don't know how much it helped, but
Calculated.
Shit happens, yeah. And then going to halftime, and then we it was back and forth until like 3 minutes in the fourth quarter, and we kind of pulled away a little bit. But great series. I learned a lot, played a lot. It was fun to be a part of that series. That felt like the best basketball I was a part of, and probably my stint in my career.
What's your biggest takeaway that you took from that series, from that experience, going into now this year?
Trust your teammates. You got to play. You got to play team ball, and I think, we are missing that a little bit now. Probably why we're struggling a little bit. But you got to play. You got to play your guys. You got to trust your guys. And you got to play for each other. And however corny that sounds, that's why everyone uses it, man. That shit works.
And how do you adjust? Like, you guys were elite in the second league, and probably if you played in the second league with the same team as last year, you guys probably would still be elite. But going up to the first league, adding some key guys to the team, it's been a struggle. How do you remain like how do you guys start clicking
Try
and
to keep improving
day in and day out?
Be professional at the end of the day. We're all
Right.
professionals. this is what you do for a job. Just because your company is struggling, what you're gonna, not show up to Tesla if their stock is down. So it's be professional for one. I think that's kind of like that should alleviate a lot of it. But we're human.
It's a long season.
It's a long season, but we are human. You feel kind of like, and it can suck a little bit.
Right.
But have good, leadership or your vets showing up, working hard. That kind of just sets the tone to try to improve day in and day out. Have a good, we still have a good rapport with everyone. It's not like we're coming to practice, hating practice. I like going to practice still. So if we can continue that, I think it'll show that we're better than what it looks like at the moment.
And you talked about struggles last night. It was a little bit of a struggle, but you're also playing a EuroLeague team, so it's hard to kind of compare. We've got to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah,
Lonnie,
you said he was.
Lonnie Walker, talk about what it's like kind of going up against him when he's in his rhythm. He's hitting threes from half court and completely killing. He had a kind of a tough layup on you. He went like up on the right side. Going against a guy like that, what is that like coming from a D3 school, playing in D2 and D1 over here, and then all of a sudden you're playing against a guy like that?
Yeah, and it's not just him either. It's like I told you, I'm very humble in my game. Like I would have never thought I would be playing against, high major D1 guys, let alone NBA guys. It's something I never even, I don't know if I thought was possible. It's just I didn't think it would happen. But, you see someone who's clicking, he had 20-something in the EuroLeague game, beat the number 4 team. They're struggling a little bit in EuroLeague, but now they're being, they're clicking a little bit, and then he comes into last night, and he's obviously still clicking. Yeah, that shit got bad.
You're a big basketball nerd also. Like you love the game.
I do. I like watching. I like watching the game, dissecting it. What are they doing on pick and rolls? How are they running in transition? What different matchups they're doing. What is the 4 doing? Is he switching everything? Are they quick one? I like seeing the game itself.
My question is that when you're on the other side of things and you're the opponent and you see a guy like that clicking, is there some type of like awe that you have for that during the game, or is it kind of just like, nah, that's my enemy right now, I'm going against him?
Nah, fuck that in the game. That shit was making me mad. Nah, it's 5-on-5. Like we're playing. Like no, we gotta figure this out. Like it's not even a name at that point. It's the 2 guard. How are we gonna stop him? So I think after the fact you can kind of be like, you can kind of have that moment of like, oh wow, like he was doing his thing. Like he was hitting some shots. Big name NBA guy, but they got a great team. They have great spacing. They're clicking. I know they had their struggles early on, but they found something. Especially if Lonnie is hitting shots, big shots, and everything. They can play. They got pieces and everything. So, when someone hits that, you just realize that like there's levels. Like there's levels to this a little bit, and he wanted to show that last night, and he kind of did.
So as we kind of like dissect a little bit more about overseas basketball as a whole, what's like one thing that American players, you spoke about it before, you didn't really know anything about overseas basketball back when you were in America. What's one thing that American guys misunderstand about overseas basketball?
Not understanding about like the different leagues in general, whatever, but first, second, and even like a third league, not understanding that aspect, and that a lot of these second league teams, let alone here, Turkey, wherever in Europe, Germany, wherever, Italy has great second leagues that you can kind of find a niche in, and it can also elevate you to play at a higher level. I know people, there's this like don't get caught in the second league, whatever. Like they'll look at you as a second league player, but it's something you can find a niche in, and it's something that I kind of did coming over here. Eventually, I got my footing in the second league and was able to be on teams that were very competitive and trying to move up to the first league and trying to work that if I do move up, okay, my contract will be extended and whatnot. So stay humble, man. Like, it's not like D1 or bust. It's not EuroLeague or bust either. Like, it's you can find competitive basketball in a second league, wherever that may be, and you can find your niche. There's plenty of money in those leagues. Like, you can really get your, like, we talk about Mike James started in second league Israel. So
right.
It's like, brother, humble yourself. Like, you can do this, and you can find your footing over here. Now, it's not easy. That comes with, less resources. Maybe your apartment is in a penthouse, looking over the beach. Maybe, but you can work your way. You can grind and find a great footing for yourself.
We touched on this a little bit, and kind of, as you said, it's not easy. What's the biggest adjustment imports don't expect?
Don't expect?
Although
anything.
You're not an import, you're kind of.
Yeah. I don't think they realize, now it's shorter now, but how long it is.
Right.
I think people look at it as like, I'm just going over there real quick and I'll be back home. And I think at first it's okay. Then the holidays come, like now, and it's like, damn, I'm really missing this. And then after the holidays, it's like, oh shit, I have another January, February, March, April, May, 5-6 months. And it's like, I think that realization, especially after the holidays, people don't realize how you live here. What'd you say earlier?
Right,
Johnny,
you live here for like 9,
you live
10
here.
months.
Like, this is your home.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you better make it homely.
So how have you made Israel your home, and what surprised you most about living in Israel?
First, I'll say surprised how easy it is just to like get comfortable here. And the Shabbat dinners, that type of vibe of every week, we're gathering like friends and family. I know I'm not the first one to say this, but everyone says this, I think. It's just like, it's so like, if I know you, I'll do anything for you. If I don't know you, it's kind of a little bit like, fuck you. But if I know you, like, if I have any relationship to you, like, you're family. And it's like, you can come, eat my food, drink my wine, like, play cards with the family. It's crazy how, like, every week, mind you, every Friday it's like this, which is, like, absurd. It's like we just had Thanksgiving back home. This shit is Thanksgiving every Friday. Like, literally, it's crazy. And so that type of, like, just culture and environment is something that's, like, it's nice. It's easy. And you don't have to go every week. Like,
right.
When first couple years when I had nothing to do, I was at a Shabbat every Friday. And now I got the girlfriend and everything, her family, so I'm going there. And but it's a great surprise, I think, about that, kind of the culture here and everything like that. And then I don't remember the second part.
Well, how have you kind of made Israel be your home? You've been here, what is it, 6 years now?
Yeah, this is going on year 7.
Year 7, so 7 years.
Bro.
It's most
Time
of your
flies.
adult life.
Yeah.
It's most of your adult
For
life,
sure.
honestly.
I think the biggest realization of that is after my 4th year, I was like, I just did college again. I was like, yo, like I just that when like that college felt like forever.
So has Israel kind of become a home to you?
For sure. It's so comfortable now, and I got the girl, and that makes it exponentially homely and everything. She's got the place looking great and everything, so shout out Shalev. And it's easy. It's just the natural like way of living is very easy.
Okay, and then when we're talking about Haifa, right? You said it was it was a struggle there. So I want to kind of just touch on this. Like, a lot of guys come here, and like we talked about, you live here. Sometimes you just find yourself practice in the crib, and you might have great time throughout the year, but then you might just have a bad week. So how do you rebuild confidence after a bad week?
I think you're asking the wrong guy.
What, you never have a bad week?
No, it's not right. No, the other. I never had like confidence in my game. I think that was like.
Well, you don't even have to talk about basketball and
just
in
like
general,
life,
living overseas.
Touch on like what we spoke about earlier. Like, ball is life, but you can do other stuff too. Like, it's okay. Don't be afraid to do stuff by yourself. I always say, like, just go meet people. Like, go to the beach by yourself. Go eat by yourself. Go to this bar that you wanted to go to. Go see this historical site. Go walk to Jerusalem by yourself. Like, and just talk to people. It's crazy to me that I guess it's not that crazy, because it is kind of like, it's not the norm, right? To just go do something by yourself. But like, shit, you came here by yourself. Now what, you just gonna stop doing stuff on your own? And I think that's the biggest thing, where it's like, don't be afraid to travel and do stuff alone, and you'll meet people on the way.
Definitely.
Like, I remember I did this is before I even met my girl. I did a wine tasting by myself. Like, I just went to a Colorado winery, set up something, and met people there, and like just started talking to them, talking to like the sommeliers.
Is that what you would call it? No, but that's
doing
the
a little
cool,
like listening to it.
That's the cool thing about Israel.
Like,
you go by yourself, and people are so like willing to just meet you and like talk shit, like just hang out.
I remember there was a couple there. They're like, "Oh wow, you came by yourself? Like that's like, maybe, I don't know the exact verbiage, but basically brave of you." Like, and like, it's like, yeah, no problem. Like, I like wine. Like, why not? Like, I wanted to try some wine. I was gonna come here and buy wine anyways. Let me try some. Let me see.
Might as well get the experience.
Let me see the vineyard. Yeah. So I don't see a problem. You have so much time on your hands. Like, even if you the most professional guy on the team, we talking about 4 hours of your day.
Yeah.
Bruh, what are we talking about?
Well, you talk about it not being so crazy, but a lot of people don't do it. A lot of people don't go and do these things on their own.
Which is like the normal thing. You go to America, it's like, even in college, it's like, hey, are you going to go eat? Like, I can't go to the cafeteria by myself and go eat. It's like, bruh. Like, it's a thing. It's definitely a thing. Like people don't want to do stuff by themselves. So it's.
Yeah. So as we start to wrap up, for any listener out there who might be following your journey, there's a lot of D3 hoopers, a lot of people who maybe don't have the confidence in their game that they should. What's some advice that you can give?
Think deep on this one.
Like, advice to like just D3 hoopers in general?
To people who maybe want to go down a similar journey that you've gone down.
See if you have any ethnic background and try to get a passport. It's a joke, but
it's true.
No bullshit. Like, but I'll touch on like giving confidence to your game. Find a coach that believes in you. Like, don't just like, if you're gonna go D3 anyways, you might as well find a coach that believes in you, trusts you, is committed to making you a better player. That helped me tremendously. Now I can just go out and play hard. I'll listen to whatever you say. Like, I'll just do it, and now I'll go as hard as I can. That's how I play basketball in high school. All right, coach, I'll do it, whatever. Like, and then college is transitioned to that with a little more leeway. But find a coach that believes in you, wants to see you get better on and off the court. That's like, don't just go to a school to go to a school. Like, make sure you have contact with that coach. Make sure he wants you. Don't, like, you're going D3 anyways, bro. Like, make sure you find a good fit. And then more on that, if you want to approach D3 and try to play professionally, I would say like I made a joke, but like, try to see if you have some sort of background. Like, try to get a passport. Like try to get citizenship somewhere. You'll skip 12 steps in the process. And if you go fourth league Germany just because you D3, whatever. Even my situation, like All-American, you think I would have had a lot of options if, I wasn't grateful and, be able to come here and get citizenship and play one of the top countries in the Europe. I didn't get to play that much, but I skipped 10 steps probably in that process. See if you can do something. Then if you still want, lean on your coach. If you go to a coach that trusts you, he'll encourage you to do this. He'll help you out. I'm telling you, Coach Nunley for me at Roanoke did everything for me. Made the tape, reached out to agents, communicated to them, relayed it to me. So I have the utmost respect for and gratitude for him.
So as we wrap up every episode, I'm sure you've seen we do the shot clock segment. We're going to do some rapid fire questions with you.
Say less. I'm on it.
You want to go first or me?
Yeah, let's do it.
You go first? All right. Ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
Favorite Hebrew word?
Sababa.
Shawarma or falafel?
Falafel.
Ankle breaker or post or dunk?
Neither. I can't do either.
Favorite basketball movie?
Coach Carter.
Mountains or beaches?
Oh, beaches.
Warm-up song?
Anything Future.
Weightlifting or cardio?
Weightlifting.
Night out or night in?
Night in.
Favorite place you've played?
Oh, my God. Jerusalem.
Okay.
Arena.
That's it.
Yeah.
Good. Nice, man. Nice.
Under the shot clock, man.
Well, we want to say thank you, Josh. Hopefully.
I appreciate y'all. And also I wanted to say all the athletes of it for Israel stuff you're doing, definitely reach out. Let me know. I forgot her name already. Sorry, whoever that was.
Yes, sir.
But definitely keep me tapped into that. And y'all killing it, man.
Appreciate you.
Thank you for
Appreciate
coming.
you.
Thank you, bro. Yes, sir.